It all began in June. The WWE's June pay-per-view used to be called One Night Stand. This year, however, they changed it to Extreme Rules. Now this I can kind of understand because the definition of a one-night stand is usually two consenting adults meeting for sex, which doesn't really fit in with the PG rating that the WWE is targeting towards. So at the time, I didn't really think nothing of it. Then, their next pay-per-view is usually the Great American Bash. Now, before I get into this, the Great American Bash was once one of WCW's most successful pay-per-views, and I was really excited that whenever they brought it back in 2004. The card back then kind of sucked, and it wasn't all that, but still, I was really excited that was going to be an annual WWE pay-per-view. This year, they changed it to The Bash. Not Great American Bash, just The Bash. Now, I was kind of wondering why that happened, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying the reason why they changed it was probably because, it's the Great American Bash. What if one day they decide to hold it in Canada or something like this? I still don't like it. The Great American Bash should always take place in America. We don't try to take away insurrection or rebellion from England. Well, we kind of already did, but you get the point. That's beside the point. And a couple of months later is usually the Unforgiven pay-per-view. Last year's Unforgiven, they had a really great idea, and that was the championship scramble matches. And I thought that was really clever, and I might be in the minority here, but I kind of like those matches. Now, this year, they changed the pay-per-view again to Turning Point, which was, whenever I first heard about it, I was under the impression that it was going to be an all-submission type pay-per-view. Like, every match was submission. So I was thinking, well, this might be interesting, but of course, all the matches turned out not to be submission, which kind of sucked in matches like Christian versus William Regal. But then again, you really want to see Kane versus the Great Khali in a submissions match. Again, I wasn't too thrilled about the name change from Unforgiven to Breaking Point. And anyway, the next pay-per-view was Hell in a Cell, which replaced No Mercy. Now, I'll get back to that pay-per-view in a little bit. Okay. The next pay-per-view. This is the name change that really pissed me off. Bragging Rights. This replaces the pay-per-view of Cyber Sunday, which really sucks, because this pay-per-view was innovative, it was creative, it made even if the fans weren't 100% in control, it made them feel like they were in control. But Bragging Rights just went and took it all away. We have no more power anymore. Not to mention Bragging Rights. That's one of the stupidest names for a pay-per-view I've ever heard. It's like the dumbest pay-per-view. It sounds like an in-your-house pay-per-view name. Remember those? Yeah, the in-your-houses that are famous for, Triple H and hog pin matches, and Scott Hall dressing up X-Pac in a diaper. Stupid things like that. And the 7-on-7 match for the Bragging Rights, that's something that could have been done at the next pay-per-view, the Survivor Series. But I will say this, the Iron Man match, that was pretty cool. That was awesome. But overall, I would have preferred Cyber Sunday. And now I find out the next pay-per-view is TLC. At the rate they're going, I would not be surprised if they'd replace No Way Out with Countdown to WrestleMania. Well, actually, they've already replaced it. And now I'm going to get back to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. The October pay-per-view was Hell in a Cell. The December pay-per-view was is going to be TLC, and the February pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Hell in a Cell, TLC, Elimination Chamber. These are not pay-per-view names. They are matches. With something like the Hell in a Cell, that should be between whenever two guys are feuding and they have match after match, and finally their rivalry should culminate in a Hell in a Cell match. It shouldn't be a Hell in a Cell just because it's September. And anyway, it seems as if any pay-per-view that was not established 20 years ago is getting name changes, and I don't like it. I think it really sucks, and I want my Armageddon back. I want my Cyber Sunday back, my No Mercy back. Stop changing the names of the pay-per-views. That's all. That's all I've got to say.